APM Terminals i Enna Logic potpisali su koncesijski ugovor na 50 godina za korištenje najveće i najvažnije hrvatske luke Rijeka. Za to će plaćati fiksnih 2 milijuna eura godišnje i promjenjivi dio sukladno ostvarenim prihodima. Tko stoji iza ovog velikog poslovnog pothvata, razgovaramo sa izvršnim direktorom koncesionara, gospodinom Engelstoftom. Mr. Engelstoft, welcome to Croatian television. You just signed a concession agreement for the next 50 years. For a broader audience, could you tell us more about your parent company and you as well?
Certainly, and thank you. So the overall company is called APM Moller-Maersk. It's a focused shipping, ports and logistics business, the largest globally. And it contains the largest shipping lines, so Maersk Line, Maersk Ocean, a very significant presence in logistics, and then APM Terminals as the port division. And overall, I'd say the strategy of APM Moller-Maersk is to create the global integrator of container logistics so that we can offer end-to-end logistics services to our customers all over the world.
Everyone will say that Moller-Maersk is the global leading shipping company. What does it mean? Is it the largest or by tradition, or I don't know, future-proof due to green transition? Why is the leading?
So you're right. I think leading can mean many ways, many things, and I think people will think about different things. Certainly leading in terms of size is clear. Also, our company is 117 years old, so we have been around for a long time. But we would like to define also leading broader than that. We would like to take leads in certain things in the industry. As an example, as you say, future-proof, taking a lead on the green transformation. So we're the first one in the industry coming out with a zero carbon pledge for our company. And in the way that we are approaching, you could say, this more integrated approach towards our customers is examples of how we intend to take lead.
What is the main purpose of green transition? Is it to get more money or to ensure that in the future you will be able to trade and ship worldwide?
It's definitely the latter. So the fact is that shipping is a very large part of the global economy, and thereby also a large emitters of CO2 and other emissions. And therefore we have a responsibility to address that. And we know that in order for us to have a viable business and for us to be attractive towards our customers, then we would need to also transform our company. And that's the main commitment that we have to ourselves and to our customers and to all the other stakeholders that we have. So the whole terminal will be fully electrified from the outset, and that means that we'll be able to bring in equipment that run on electricity, and thereby also will have a very low emission of CO2.
And a typical Joe in Croatia will ask, where are you from? ATM is based in Netherlands. It's owned by Dutch company. Who you are actually?
So the parent company, APM Moller-Maersk, is a Danish company founded in 1904, so 117 years ago. That's where the you would say overall APM Moller-Maersk headquarters is. I'm from Denmark. I've worked in the company for 35 years. So that's, you could say, where the main headquarters is. Then we decided many years ago actually to move the headquarters of APM Terminals, so the ports division, to the Netherlands. And the reason why we did that is that in the Netherlands you have the largest Northern European port in Rotterdam. And we also actually wanted at that time to make certain that APM Terminals are serving not only Maersk as the in-house customer, but also that we serve all the other customers. And that was the reason why we then moved the company to the Netherlands. So APM Terminals headquartered in the Netherlands, but part of APM Moller-Maersk, which is the Danish company based there.
And you are also presented all around the world. in 70 terminals around.
That's how it is. So we are setting up a legal entity locally with a concession with the here in this case the Croatian government. So of course we'll have you would say legal entity, a board of directors here, lots of people here doing our business here,
Paying taxes here and all that stuff.
Of course, that's always what we do.
Just could you compare the size of your company to, for instance, Croatian GDP or some other things that are more closer to the broader audience, so they can compare?
So certainly our overall company is fairly large. Certainly in our industry, we are a $40 billion turnover business. And as I said, it contains a number of different activities, both within ocean shipping.
You mentioned $40 billion annually.
Annually.
Because the Croatian GDP is $60 billion.
Right.
So it's roughly three-quarters of that.
Size.
This is about the size. How many terminals around the world are operated by APM Terminals?
So we own and operate 75 terminals.
Ports
globally.
Or terminals?
Well, we say terminals. Some places we operate the whole port also, but normally it's a terminal within a port that we operate. Many of them we call gateway terminals, so they are terminals serving the local markets, just like the one that we're building here in Rijeka. And we also, in addition to that, have 8 what we call transshipment terminals, which are connecting points for global trade and shipping line networks.
Can you estimate how much you will invest in Rijeka port?
So we say approximately for phase 1 and phase 2, we say more than $200 million euro. More than 200 million euros is what we will invest. Yes.
So could you tell us why did you choose the Croatian company Enna Logic as a partner in this business? Because the largest one, why not the HŽ Cargo, which is the largest cargo operator in Croatia?
So first of all, we always believe, or many times believe, that in a project like this, it makes sense to partner with a local company who is well established, well connected, with a good network, who knows the local culture, knows the local business. And in addition to that, we have known Enna for some time. They are a good partner for our Maersk Ocean business, providing logistics, inland logistics services for our company. So we have a good collaboration. We have a good impression of Enna, and therefore we felt that was a very good complement to us. You could say coming maybe more with the global expertise and experience from around the world, and that combination I think will bode really well.
I was just curious because the Enna has just a 20% of railway cargo in Croatia. And the rest is more or less in HŽ Cargo. So, or did they choose you to get the contract?
No, so it was certainly us also looking for partners, and Enna, as I mentioned, we were partners in other respects earlier. So this was a good way of combining, building on that relationship that we already have, to also do more activities here. And I also happen to know that Enna is also co-owning a terminal in Ploče. So there's some connections there also already.
Why did you choose the port of Rijeka? This is a common question. You choose the port of Rijeka instead of Trieste or Koper.
So first of all, we do believe that there is in the world of global transport and shipping, there is a need for well-working, efficient gateway terminals serving the local markets. And then on top of that, Rijeka has a very good, you could say, starting point, because it's a natural deep sea port. And it's also, in terms of location, very well connected, both of course to the local market and surrounding countries, but also as a gateway into the hinterland in Central and Eastern Europe. And on top of that, we can see that here in Rijeka there are opportunities also to build out logistics services and solutions. So many ways, I think, an attractive location for
We have been told that Koper and Trieste are much more advanced ports compared to Rijeka. What are the advantages that Rijeka has?
So certainly, when we built the new terminal, I can assure you it'll be fully competitive and very advanced and very modern, taking in all the experience that we have from around the world.
Could you tell us more about these plans? So you are planning to deepen these docks or what?
So that's one of the advantages. There's no need to deepen the port itself. So it's a natural good location for a terminal. So what we are going to focus on is to create a really well-working, efficient, modern terminal, and then, of course, very important, is to have the logistical surroundings and the rail further up into the country and into the hinterland.
Yeah, but what about the railway connections between the Rijeka and Central Europe or Hungary, for instance? It's still underdeveloped. How will you overcome this problem?
So clearly it's very important that that's being built, and I also very much understand that there are good plans to do that. It's being supported by the government and the important stakeholders, so we are confident that these rail connections, which will allow us to take full advantage of this location here.
But there are a lot of promises. We heard these plans 20 years ago, and still those railways are not modernized.
No. But now you have the connection to a world-class gateway terminal, and then it makes a lot of sense for actually all parties in this equation here. The country overall, all the customers, all the local importers and exporters, the consumers, the government, the country. So we are very confident that these plans will be carried out, and that the full potential of Rijeka can be fully come to life.
It will take a time. It will take a time, and until that, this will be the bottleneck.
So it'll take some time to build the port also. So we will be ready in 3.5 years. So we actually do believe that the plans that are there for rail will coincide quite well when we have a pickup of cargo. So I think it should synchronize quite well. So it'll take, as I said, 3.5 years to build out the terminal. Then there's a ramp up of volume. Once that ramp up has happened and there's a large amount of business going, I believe that could very well coincide with the completion of the rail project.
When you will expect this port to be fully operational?
So that I would say is the 3.5 year timeline that I'm talking about. So by second quarter.
This is phase 2.
First we talk phase 1. So phase 1 is second quarter 2025. That's where you could say the first focus is, and then once dependent a little bit on the ramp up of business, but if it goes according to expectations, then I'd say fairly shortly after phase 1 is up and running, the continued construction can take place, and then phase 2 will be ready dependent whenever more volume is coming in.
Okay, but you don't know exactly when the phase 2 will be finished.
So we do not know yet, because that will depend on the amount of business, but it's the complete intention to do it as fast as possible. So as soon as the requirement is there, then we are ready completely to build out the second phase as well.
But you already signed and promised 1 million containers a year for the next 2 years. How it will be achieved? So we certainly completely live up to all the agreements that we have made, and it's our interest to build out the ports and get the business. So we expect the terminal to have good utilization very shortly after the completion of phase 1, and as soon as that is done, then the second phase will commence. And you expect that it will be a profitable project, I suppose?
We have already good commitments from customers who will come to the terminal, so we are quite certain about the business, you would say the immediate business, and then there are plenty of opportunities to build out also the logistics solutions and products around the terminal.
where the customers come from?
It's a combination, both from the local market, definitely, but also from the hinterland business, and we will be bringing in also some transshipment business. So it's not only, you could say, a local Croatian business and hinterland business that of course will make up quite a big part of the business, but we also see this as a very good location for what we call transshipment business. That is business coming on vessels, as an example from Asia, coming here to Rijeka, being transloaded onto other vessels and then going to the ultimate destination, could be somewhere else in the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean, would it compete with the northern ports of Europe?
There's an ability to serve the European, the Central European and Eastern European hinterland that often is served from the Northern European terminals. If we, as an example, for Asian business, Asian imports, instead can take the business into Rijeka and serve that via an efficient railway connection up to Central Europe, there's certainly a good amount of time saved for the customers instead of sailing all the way up to Northern Europe.
Yeah, but there are so many if clauses in your answer. So will the terminal rely on domestic labor or foreign workers? Or, well, are there enough skilled workers in the Rijeka region?
No, so certainly, and that's not an if. We are going to employ a lot of local labor. The vast majority of the people at the terminal will be employed in here in Croatia. That's what we always do in the terminals that we have. Of course, there can be certain jobs where special expertise or experience is needed, but the vast majority will be jobs for the local talents that we have here.
What is your approximation of the number of these employees?
So in terms of local, very close to 100%. So certainly 90% plus. So okay, so in terms of numbers, we expect actually that will go up fairly quickly to approximately 300 when it's up and running.
How you can sign such a long-term commitment? Well, the politicians usually have a horizon of 4 years, and now you are looking for 50 years. Is it normal for companies like APM?
Yes, it's very normal. It's very normal, and we are a long-term focused company, and all large infrastructure projects like this one will always have a long horizon. So, as you say, concession agreements are typically either 25, 30 or 50 years. It's a big investment. It's a big commitment from the country as well, and therefore these are long-term benefits, both for us, of course, but also for the country, and therefore it makes sense to have a very long-term view. So we certainly expect to be here for 50 years and will be a very good partner to the country.
What will happen in 50 years? Now the current position of shipping is very favorable, but there are so many disruptive industries. How can you predict what will happen in long term or in 50 years or so?
That's the reason why I sometimes use the word if. There are a certain amount of uncertainty out in the future, and certainly 50 years out. What typically happens when you have a concession, then it eventually expires after either 25, 30 or 50 years. And then normally there's it's not that then the terminal will disappear and will no longer be there. Then there's a new negotiation in terms of extending it. So that's I'm completely convinced that this terminal will be here in the very long time. Of course, after 50 years, there may be new technologies, new things that can be done, and continuously, also within actually the 50-year period, will invest in the terminal to make sure it's completely competitive, completely ready to serve our customers. We believe actually certainly in APM Terminals and overall Maersk, that the combination of owning the assets and then developing what we call world-class technology, that's a fantastic combination. Also actually to defend ourselves against, as you say, disruptive companies or new competitors, because when you own the assets and have really good technology, you're able, first of all, to a great extent to predict outcomes, but more importantly, you are able to influence outcomes because you own the assets and are able to make the difference for the customer. And that's at the essence of our strategy.
So you're not afraid?
Certainly not afraid. I think on a day like this, I think there's every reason to be optimistic, and this is for us, a great day. And as I said, we have 75 terminals. I really look forward to add one here in Rijeka in a few years from now.
But this terminal in Rijeka nowadays, it's a greenfield. You have a courage and you think that you will modernize it to become one of the leading or the best terminals, let's say, within the region.
This is our business. This is what we're good at. This is what we have a lot of experience with. We have done that all over the world. So I'm very confident that we, with the collaboration with the stakeholders here in Croatia, with the partnership that we have, with our experience from many projects around the world, with also the agreements we have already with our customers, this will be a fantastic place, both a good part of our portfolio, but also, I'm sure, for the country overall.
So the Rijeka will become one of the favorable port for your ships, let's say, or vice versa.
Yeah, so that is a combination, and that's if you will, again, also the benefit with a project like that within the company. We both have one of the top 3 terminal operators globally, and the number 1 shipping line in the industry, and us teaming up to do a project here means that we are very certain about having enough business, and we will be of course also, as we do everywhere else in our gateway terminals, handling other customers' business here as well.
Well, there is an existing container terminal in the port of Rijeka operated by a Philippine company. Do you consider them as a competitor?
So I ultimately, of course, we will compete with the other terminals in the Adriatic area, of course. But actually, if you look at the terminals, they're quite well utilized. It's an area of the world where there's good growth in the area. So now we are focused on building out our terminal, and I'm actually quite certain that if also after we have done that you'll see still a lot of good utilizations in the terminals in the Adriatic.
But in the same port you have a competitive operator.
Yes. But here, as I said, it's a market that grows. We are also bringing in transshipment business, so this is business coming from many other different ports in the Mediterranean. So we have seen that in a number of other locations that when you have good growth in the area, there's a good chance of high utilization to continue.
So you think that it will be enough volume of cargo for both terminals, or the third one in the future?
The way I see the whole area around the Adriatic Sea, that's an attractive place to be. Good growth levels. As I also said, if we can move some of the business that today are handled out from the Northern European terminals and bring that business into the Central European areas, that's also, you could say, business that will actually extra business that will come into this area.
Okay, Mr. Engelstoftom, thank you very much for your precious time.
Thank you very much, and a pleasure to be here. And as I said, this is a fantastic day for us, and we look forward to complete the terminal in line with what the agreement is.
Poslovne vijesti, nažalost, ne pune web portale ni naslovnice novina. Prosječni Hrvat točno zna što je tko kome u Saboru rekao i kakvi su odnosi Vlade i Pantovčaka. No, kladim se da 90% Hrvata ne zna da već 10 godina kontejnerskim dijelom Riječke luke upravljaju Filipinci. A od danas i nizozemski APM i Enna Logic. A vi sad procijenite što vam je važnije znati. Poštovani gledatelji, hvala na pažnji i doviđenja.